Okay, good morning, everybody. Let's get started here with our routine weekly briefing for Central North Carolina. This is for today, the first day of May through next Wednesday, May 7th. And my name is Gail Hartfield, Senior Forecaster here at the National Weather Service. And let's get started with the briefing. Okay, so first I wanted to cover that today is included in the Carolinas Rip Current Awareness Week, and this is an awareness week that is was set up to cover all of the Carolinas and kind of focusing on the whole of the Carolinas and the danger of rip currents. Rip currents are the biggest weather-related killer, and as it says, not even close. It's by far the worst weather-related killer for all of the Carolinas. And an interesting point is 82% of the rip current fatalities are people who live inland or out of state. So they're visitors coming in or people who aren't familiar with rip currents are responsible for most of the fatalities. So we wanted to draw attention to that. The Weather Service did, so we've got this Rip Current Awareness Week. So it's a good time to just make sure that you know how to stay safe from rip currents, how to know where they are and how to identify them, and how to escape them if you happen to get caught in them. So just wanted to point that out, and there's some terrific resources there from our fellow offices there in Wilmington and Newport Morehead City, and Charleston, South Carolina has some great resources there, so you can learn more about that, including how to spot a rip current, how to access forecasts for rip currents, and just basically basic safety information. So check that out if you get a chance. Another point here today is National Heat Stroke Prevention Day, and it's important to know that even in fairly cool temperatures, that the inside of cars can get deadly hot. Since 1998, over 1,000 children have died from vehicular heat stroke, and that includes 39 just in 2024. So it's entirely preventable. It's shocking how many times that this has happened. So we wanted to draw attention to that as well. So stop, look, and lock, and look before you lock. Check the back seat at all times. Some tips are putting things in the back seat you know you need to grab, like your purse or briefcase or something like that. And so you make sure you get in that habit of checking the back seat before you leave. So just want to point that out as well. This is a good time to check and make sure that you're aware of the dangers of heat stroke in closed vehicles. So. Okay, on to the actual weather we have going on here today. Today will be generally dry. We do have some small chance of showers late this afternoon and tonight in the Triad region and back over the mountains. Most of the area should be dry and will be fairly warm today. Our above average temperatures are expected to last through Saturday. And they will be dropping down to closer to normal Sunday through Wednesday. We do expect a cold front to be moving through over the late in the weekend into early next week. We do have at least a slight chance of showers each day for most of the upcoming week. So Saturday into at least the beginning part of next week. We might catch a dry period here once we get into Tuesday and Wednesday, but there's still a lot of uncertainty. This weather pattern we're in, we've got a big upper level trough of low pressure that will be diving into the upper Midwest, so the north central part of the country, and it'll be closing off a closed low, upper low over the Ohio Valley. So, and that low will just kind of slowly ease eastward through the weekend and into early next week, and in the middle part of next week as well. So that is what's going to be driving our weather. So it'll be very slow moving. So one model may show a frontal passage at one point, and then a couple runs later, the front will be slowed and won't come through until the next day. So there's a lot of uncertainty here of the details, but it does look like this cold front will bring the best chance of widespread showers and storms will be Saturday afternoon into Sunday. Not ideal for those with weekend plans, unfortunately, but that is what it is, and the weather does not know the calendar. So this weekend does look like it potentially Saturday afternoon, maybe the morning might be okay, but in the afternoon into Sunday, we do expect a fairly high chance of showers and storms. And then again, as noted there, temperatures should be warm and humid through at least the first part of the weekend, perhaps all through the weekend, and then near normal temperatures will return next week, early and mid part of next week. Looking at the precipitation amount forecast, again, you can see there at the top left today, it looks like a largely dry day, a little bit of rain in the mountains. As we get into Friday, a little better coverage of showers and storms heading further east as we keep getting a little more unstable in the atmosphere, a little more warm and humid. Our peak looks like it will be Saturday, where we're forecasting right around a 1/4 to 1 inch of rain, maybe a little bit more in spots. And we'll get to the drought conditions in a moment, but this is going to be very much needed rain for most of us. So hopefully we don't get the severe weather aspect of it. We'll just get a good soaking rain. That would be the best scenario here. And as you see, moving into Sunday and Monday, that front goes through very slowly and starts to shift the better rain chances to the coast. So our rain chances don't go down to 0 necessarily, but looks like they will be becoming a little more sparse. So certainly Saturday into Saturday night, perhaps into Sunday, seems to be our focus of the better chances of rain, the best chances of rain over this next several days. Looking at the severe thunderstorm potential, we are in a marginal risk on Saturday. And there's a chance of some severe storms, could be all hazards, but primarily focused on the risk of strong damaging winds and some large hail. Outside of that, we do have general thunder expected, general thunderstorm chances expected. Not so much today. I see we're outlook there in the general thunder, but I think it's really going to be very sparse in most of the area. Maybe in the triad you might get a little better coverage, but most of the area will stay dry, the vast majority today. As I said before, coverage usually will actually increase a little bit on Friday. Best chance on Saturday, where we do have that severe weather risk. It's not shown here. The general thunder is not shown here for Sunday, Monday into Tuesday, but there is a chance of some thunderstorms, especially down east in the coastal plain, as we get into Sunday and Monday as well. Okay, excessive rainfall outlook looks like we're pretty good. We are not expecting any widespread excessive rainfall through Saturday. That said, on Saturday we will have we could have some localized heavy rainfall if that happens to fall over urban areas. That could be pose a minor flooding issue, but not expecting any widespread issues here through Saturday. Okay, looking at our experimental heat risk for the next few days, we do have a minor risk of heat-related impacts over the next 3 days. It's early in the season too, so if you're going out exerting yourself, you're doing outdoor work, exercising outside during the heat of the day, just be smart and take some precautions. Just be careful. Take breaks in the air conditioning. Even a few minutes spent in air conditioning every hour goes a long way to prevent heat-related illness. So watch out for that. And we are getting into the summer is here, so we are going to start seeing more and more of these hot days. So just take care. And here is, as I mentioned earlier, the drought update, and we could use some of this rainfall for sure. We have seen some improvement in our drought status since last week over the far western or southwestern part of North Carolina and a few spots in the coast, based on some hit or miss rain that was felt there. But overall, we do have a large part of our area is still in a abnormally dry or moderate drought, and you can see some highlights there in the central Piedmont. We have had some expansion there last week. So hopefully we can get some rainfall in this area and help alleviate some of these drought conditions we've got going on. Looking at the next week, and this is May 8th through the 14th, we are looking at a favored 50% chance, almost a 50% chance of above normal temperatures. So generally leaning toward a better chance of above normal temperatures, and precipitation should be near normal. No strong indications that it'll be excessively wet or excessively dry, so should be near normal. And you can see our normal temperatures there. We're getting into the upper 70s to low 80s at this point, and lows in the 50s, so it's starting to heat up as we are getting into May. Our experimental hazardous graphical weather outlook. You can see our chance of severe storms there, that marginal risk on Saturday, and the lightning risk is pinged there in the yellow for a slight risk there today. Again, today, don't expect an awful lot today, but primarily Friday through Monday, we will stand a chance of some thunderstorms, with Saturday being the best day. Okay, and then the weather summary here. Again, today will be mostly dry, slight chance of showers in the triad. Late today, after today, we do have at least a slight chance of showers every day for most of the area for most of the upcoming week, at least into early next week. Cold front was going to be bringing some more widespread showers and storms along and ahead of it Saturday afternoon into Sunday, and that could linger through much of Sunday and even into Monday down east in the coastal plain. And above average temperatures are expected through Saturday, near normal temperatures as we get into the early part of next week behind that front and with a few more clouds. As far as hazardous impacts, again, looks like chance of severe storms on Saturday afternoon into Sunday, so be on the lookout for that. And that is all I've got here. Hope you all have a wonderful week and weekend, rest of your week and weekend, and we will talk to you again on Monday.